Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Bids and Awards Committee of DPWH Batangas First DEO, I'd like to welcome everyone to this pre-bid conference for the projects to be procured by this office. This conference is being conducted pursuant to the provisions of the IRR of the RA 12009, particularly Section 51, to ensure that all interested bidders are properly guided on the technical specifications, scope of work, eligibility requirements, and other conditions in the bidding process. Before we proceed, may I request everyone to please rise for the opening prayer to be led by Ms. Iji. Almighty God, we thank you for the opportunity to gather today for this private conference. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as we carry out responsibility. Grant us integrity, fairness, and transparency in all our discussions and decisions. Help us work together with respect, professionalism, and ensure commitment to serve the public interest. Bless everyone present with goodness, guidance, knowledge, and peace. Please we pray in your holy name. Thank you. Please be seated. May we request the back secretariat, Engineer Cyrus Walter Tordesilva, to proceed with the roll call of attendees.
Good morning po sa ating lahat. For the roll call of attendees for today's private conference for the infrastructure project, let's start with the representative from the planning and design section, Engineer Adrian Alduin Enriquez, Engineer Helen Grace Sanchez, and Engineer Justin De Ocampo. For our back DPWH member, Engineer Algin Chris Maxina. Member of back secretariat, Ms. Remgin M. Umari. The head of the back secretariat, yours truly, Cyrus Walter Tordesilva. Our end user, Engineer Lori B. Telegero. For our back member, Engineer Jobert M. Valdrias. Present, good morning. And our back chairperson, Engineer Christine Joy Alonso.
Present, good morning.
That's all, ma'am.
So as the majority of back members are present in this conference, a quorum is hereby established. The purpose of the pre-bid conference is to provide all prospective bidders the opportunity to raise questions, seek clarifications, and discuss concerns relative to the bidding documents and procurement requirements. Any clarification or amendment discussed during this conference, if necessary, shall be reflected through the issuance of a supplemental or bid bulletin in accordance with the procurement regulations. May I remind everyone that only issues raised in writing and those discussed during this conference which require clarification shall be officially addressed by the BAC through appropriate issuances. We may have the agenda of today's pre-bid conference. So we have, first is the presentation of projects plan and scope of works. Next is the general information, and the last is the questions from readers and observers. We start with our first agenda, which is the presentation of the projects plan and scope of works. We have 3 projects to be discussed this morning. The first one is Contract ID 26DD0045, entitled Organizational Outcome 1, Ensure Safe and Reliable National Road System, Bridge Program-Rehabilitation, or Major Repair of Permanent Bridges, Law of Bridge, along Ternate-Nasugbu Road, with an approved budget for the contract of 4,708,900 pesos. Duration is 72 calendar days. Source of funds, SARO-BMB-A-26-0001758. Size range is small b. License category C and D. Cost of bidding documents, 5,000 pesos. And to discuss the details of the plan and scope of works, may I call on Engineer Justin De Ocampo from the Planning and design section.
Good morning po. For the first project po, we have here the organizational outcome 1 ensure safe and reliable national road system bridge program rehabilitation or major repair of permanent bridges, block bridge along Ternate-Nasugbu Road. In the project type po na rehabilitation or major repair of bridge and an approved budget of the contract 4,708,900 and the project duration po na 72 calendar days. For the project location po, scope of work. For the bill of quantities, we have Part A, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, provision of furnitures, fixtures, equipment, and appliances for the field office for the engineer, provision of field office staff for the assistance to the engineer, and provision of progress photographs. For the Part B, other general requirements, we have project billboard or signboard, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization or demobilization, general scaffolding and shoring. For the Part C, we have earthwork, removal of structures and obstruction, embankment from borrow common soil. For Part F, bridge construction, reinforcing steel grade 40, reinforcing steel grade 60, structural concrete 27.58 MPa class 8, 28 days, and seal concrete. For the last one, we have epoxy injection on crack for Part F. Part G, drainage and slope protection structures, we have rubble concrete. And here's the plan po. Title page, the index of drawings, the key map, vicinity map, and location map, general notes, summary of quantities, the project billboard, materials map, the bridge plan, and details of section 1 at first approach, section 2 at first approach, second 1 at second approach, and section 2 at second approach, the parapet wall and sidewalk elevation at first approach, and section 3. Parapet wall and sidewalk elevation at second approach, the coping beam and sidewalk details and the details of rubble concrete and schedule of quantities, and our typical bridge work traffic management system. That's it.
Thank you, Engineer Justin. Now we proceed with the second project. Contract ID 26DB0046. Title is Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Multipurpose Buildings or Facilities to Support Services, Construction of Multipurpose Building, Barangay Matingain 1, Lemery, Batangas. ABC is 9,900,000 pesos. Duration is 210 calendar days. Source of fund, SR 2026-05-005215. Size range, small b. License category, CMD. Cost of bidding documents, 10,000 pesos. And now may I call on Engineer Adrian Alvin Enriquez from the Planning and Design section to discuss the plan and scope of works.
Good morning. For our next project entitled Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Building, Facilities to Support Services, Construction of Multipurpose Building, Barangay Matingain 1, Lemery, Batangas, with a project type of construction of multipurpose building and appropriation of 10 million and approved budget contract of 9,900,000 pesos and 210 calendar days. For the location map, the site and here's the perspective for the scope of works. For BOQ Part A, we have the provision of field office for the engineer, provision of progress photographs. For Part B, we have permits and clearances, project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health, mobilization or demobilization. For Part C, removal of structures and obstruction, structure excavation, common soil, embankment from roadway structure excavation, common soil, embankment from borrow, common soil, gravel field. For Part D, we have structural concrete, 3,000 PSI and 4,000 PSI, class A, 28 days, reinforcing steel, grade 40 and grade 60, formworks and falsework. For Part E, we have sewer line works, storm drainage downspout, septic vault, concrete HV, plumbing fixtures, cold water lines, the fiber cement board, the finishing hardware, aluminum glass windows, fabricated metal roofing accessory for flashings, gutters, pre-painted metal sheets, short span, big type, pre-painted metal sheets, long span, waterproofing cement base, waterproofing liquid, glazed tiles and trims, unglazed tiles, plain cement floor finish, cement plaster finish, painting works, masonry and steel, metal lat and accessories, PVC doors and frames, 100 and 150 mm CHB non-load bearing, metal structure accessories, metal structure accessories, turnbuckle, cross bracing, steel plates, structural steel purlins. And last is the railing. For Part F, we have conduits, boxes, and fittings, wires and wiring devices, panel board with main branch breakers, lighting fixtures, auxiliary system. And for the plans naman po, here is the perspective of the project billboard, the floor plan and the elevations, the painted court lines, the roof plan, the comfort room details, the general note, the foundation plan and the detail of columns, the stair details, and the strut details. The detail of struts as well. The spot detail connection of eaves and the detail of hanger, board, and ring assembly. The side skirt details. The electrical layout. The storm drainage layout plan. And last is the water line layout. That's all.
Engineer Adrian. And now we proceed with the last project to be discussed this morning. We have the 26DB0047, titled is Convergence and Special Support Program, Sustainable Infrastructure Projects, Alleviating Gaps, Multipurpose Building or Facilities to Support Social Services, Construction of Multipurpose Building with Site Development, Carlosa Elementary School, Calatagan, Batangas, with the approved budget for the contract of 9,800,000 pesos. Duration is 180 calendar days. Source of fund GAA 2026. Size range small b. License category C and D. Cost of bidding documents 10,000 pesos. And to discuss the plan and scope of works of the said contract, may I call on Engineer Hylene Ray Sanchez from the Planning and Design section.
Morning, everyone. Our third project for today entitled Convergence and Special Support Program, Sustainable Infrastructure Projects, Alleviating Gaps, SIPAG, Multipurpose Buildings, Facilities to Support Social Services, Construction of Multipurpose Building with Site Development, Carlosa Elementary School, Calatagan, Batangas. With a project type, Construction of Multipurpose Building, an appropriation of 10 million, The approved budget for the contract is 9,800,000 and a project duration of 180 calendar days. Shown is the project location at Carlosa Elementary School, Calatagan, Batangas. Here is the site condition, and the next one is the perspective. The following are the scope of things. For our bills of quantities, Part A, we have provision of field office for engineer and rental basis and provision of project photograph. For Part B, we have permits and clearances, project billboards or signboard, occupational safety and health, and mobilization or demobilization. For our Part C, we have structure excavation, common soil, embankment from roadway or structure excavation, common soil, embankment from borrow, common soil, gravel fill. For our Part D, we have structural concrete, 3,000 PSI, Class A, 28 days. We have reinforcing steel deformed, grade 40 and grade 60, formworks and false works. For our Part E, we have catch basin, CHB, sewer line work, storm drainage and downspout, septic vault or tank, concrete, CHB. We have plumbing fixtures, cold water lines, 4.5 mm fiber cement board on metal frame ceiling, carpentry and joinery works, finishing hardware, window accessories, aluminum glass window, sliding type, owning type, and fixed type. We also have wooden doors and windows, fabricated metal roofing accessories, gauge 26, ridge or hip rows, flashings, gutters, and we also have pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 millimeter corrugated long span. We have waterproofing cement base, liquid. We also have glaze tiles and trims, unglazed tiles, plain cement floor finish. We also have cement plaster finish, painting works for masonry or concrete, wood, and steel. We also have 100 mm CHB non-load bearing and 150 mm CHB non-load bearing. We also have metal structures accessories, turnbuckle, cross bracing, steel plates, and we have structural steel trusses, purlins. We also have railing. For Part F, we have conduit boxes and fittings, wires and wiring devices, panel board with main and branch breakers, lighting fixture. We also have oscillating fan, wall fan, exhaust fan, and fire extinguisher. For our plan po, here, as mentioned earlier, here is the perspective, the site development plan, and the location map. The next one is the billboards and the SOP. Next is the floor plan and front elevation. We also have the right side elevation, left side elevation, the rear elevation, and the section through. Here we have the schedule for doors and windows. We also have the detail for window grill and blackboard plan. We have the blackboard elevation, the detail of the chalkboard, the details for the toilet. Next one, we have the plan of ramp, the section of ramp, and the ceiling plan. We also have the section for concrete ramp and bench, and spot detail for handrail and the roof plan. We have the general note. We have the floor framing plan, the details of the footing and the column. We have the details of the footing tie beams and the details of the ramp. We have the roof framing plan, the details of the truss one. We also have the details of the roof beams. We have the details of end wall and the details of the hand washing. Next one, we have the detailed connections. We have here the lighting layout and the riser diagram. Next, we have the power layout. We have the water supply layout and the sanitary layout. And lastly, we have the details for our septic tank or boat. That's all po. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Hyland. And at this juncture, we proceed with our second agenda, which is overall information to be discussed by Engineer Robert Rodriguez, staff member.
Good morning, everyone. Bidding will be conducted through competitive bidding procedures using a non-discretionary pass or fail criteria. Next, bidding is restricted to Filipino citizens, sole proprietorships, cooperatives, and partnerships or organizations with at least 60% interest or outstanding capital stock belonging to citizens of the Philippines. A complete set of bidding documents may be acquired by interested bidders until before 10 a.m. of August 5, 2026 from the Procurement Unit Office, DPWH Batangas First DEO, and upon payment of the applicable fee. Bidding documents may also be downloaded free of charge from the PhilJEPS and DPWH websites, provided that bidders shall pay the applicable fee for the bidding documents before the submission of their bids. Bids must be duly received by the BAC Secretariat through first manual submission to the Procurement Unit Office, DPWH Batangas First DEO, or online electronic submission through the email electronic_Batangas1@dpwh.gov.ph on or before August 5, 2026 at 10 a.m. Late bids shall not be accepted. All bids must be accompanied by a bid security in any of the acceptable forms and in the amount stated in ITB Clause 16. The bidder shall submit one original and 2 copies of the first technical and second financial components of its bid written in the indelible ink and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representatives. All envelopes shall first contain the name of the contract to be bid in capital letters. Next, bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters. B, address the procuring entities back. Bear the specific contract identification of this bidding process and bear a warning, do not open before the date and time for the opening of bids. The bidder shall enclose their original eligibility and technical documents in one sealed envelope marked original technical component and the original of their financial component in another sealed envelope marked original financial component, sealing them all in outer envelope marked original bid. Each copy of the first and second envelopes shall be similarly sealed, duly marking the inner envelopes as copy number, technical component, and copy number, financial component, and the outer envelope as copy number. These envelopes containing the original and copies shall then be enclosed in one single envelope. The bid documents, technical and financial proposal must be boot-bounded of the fastened at the left side with ear tag in A4 size of bond paper, font size 10 or up in 70 to 100% scale, with documentary stamps and paginated as per DEO 90 series of 2002. Bid opening is on August 5, 2026 at 10 a.m. at the back conference room, DPWH Batangas First DEO. Bids will be opened in the presence of the bidders, representatives who choose to attend the activity. Contractors who wish to participate in the bidding are encouraged to enroll in the DPWH Civil Works Application, CWA, at the DPWH Procurement Service, while those already enrolled shall keep their records current and updated. If during post-qualification process, BAC verifies any deficiency due to the contractor's fault or negligence, pursuant to Section 63.2 of the IRR of RA 12009, the procuring entity will disqualify the contractor from award without any right for reimbursement of fees. Additional projects requirements as mandatory submission of the following under ITB 12.1H, latest general information sheet, GIS reflecting beneficial ownership information, BOI, duly received by the SEC for corporations. DPWH reserves the right to reject any and all bids, declare a failure of bidding, or not award the contract at any time prior to contract award in accordance with Section 70 of RA number 12009 without thereby incurring any liability to the affected bidder or bidders. For contractors with an official representative, they are required to secure a special power of attorney for single proprietorship, while for corporation or incorporated, they are required to present a secretary's certificate together with their latest board resolution. You may visit the following websites for downloading of bidding documents at www.dpwh.gov.ph and www.philjeps.gov.ph. While for electronic submission of bid, you may visit electronic bids_Batangas1 at dpwh.gov.ph. For further information, please refer to Engineer Andrew Fernandez Marquez, our back chairperson at DPWH Batangas First DEO, contact number 043-703-004, and to our back secretariat with the same address and number. Deadline of submission of bids is on August 5, 2026 on or before 10 a.m. Opening of bids is on August 5, 2026 at 10 a.m. Address, Back Conference Room, DPWH Batangas First DEO, Barangay Lanatan, Balayan, Batangas. Office contact number 043-703-0004. And our office email address, back_Batangas1 at dpwh.gov.ph.
Thank you, Engineer Jobert, our back member. So, as there are no bidders present in today's pre-bid conference, we will skip the portion for the questions from our bidders and observers. So, unless there are questions from our PWG members. So, hearing none. And as there are no other matters to discuss, the pre-bid conference for the 3 projects is hereby adjourned. Thank you everyone for your participation and cooperation. Have a good day.